continues.
Good old Ben Stein.
Yeah.
69 today.
He's 69.
69 years douche.
Ah, yes.
And the Bush twins are 32. Wow.
How'd that happen?
And Leon Gonzalez. That's already 14 years ago.
How old's he now? I make him like 20 years old, right?
How old was he? He was what? He's about it. He was 8 at the time, right? Somewhere around there, 7 or 8. Yeah. 21, 22.
Damn. Was he like a proud commie worker now?
Oh, yeah. He's like a militant over there.
Mm.
He loves Cuba.
Cuba.
We tried.
Yeah. Tried to grab him up. Show him the way. He wouldn't bite.
Oh, my God. Remember those photos?
Anytime you're wearing those fucking shoulder epaulets, you're a bad guy.
Of course he loves Cuba. Look what happened to him in America as a kid. That's beyond traumatic.
A gun in his face.
Huge gun in his face, being yanked out of a house where he thought they loved him. He couldn't wait to get back to Cuba.
Oh, yeah.
What is he doing now?
Where are they now, Sam?
Yeah,
where are they now?
What is Leon Gonzalez up to? Wow, yeah, he's got the militant stripes on and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's all in. He's like a ambassador of national pride over there.
Oh, man.
I bet you they made him that because that was such a PR disaster, having him shipped back against his will. Yes. He was crying and...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he joined the Young Communist Union of Cuba in 2008 after graduating junior high school.
I'm in that.
At age 15, he began military school.
Junior high school, they mean.
Oh. Yeah.
Videotaping it, they're putting it on websites, they're tweeting it. Those individuals would know if they want to be a part of this, take part in this activity, they too would face these types of penalties. So we think it'll deter it in 2 ways. They'll realize there's going to be a serious penalty. They can't use youthful offender status to get off the hook. Secondly, if they do this crime, they're going to spend some serious time. They're going to be in jail for 5 years at a minimum, up to 25. We're going to get them off the streets. Look, I have a lot of compassion for maybe the family lives of some of these kids and young people who are doing this, but that can't go above and beyond
Why do you
protecting
have to say
innocent,
that?
honest, law-abiding citizens. That's got to be our #1 goal. The rest of the societal issues we have to deal with. We have to help these kids in some way. Obviously, they're involved in sociopathic behavior. We've got to try to turn the corner on that. But first and foremost, we've got to protect like the 78-year-old lady who was
this
knocked
guy
out,
has
or
over
12-year-old
legislating
kid
against
last
these
week,
fucking
or the
animals
gentleman
knocking
just
people
this past
out.
weekend.
Yeah.
We can't allow that to happen. This is a serious
Fuck their
crime.
home life.
There's got to be serious time for it, and I think this will be a deterrent.
Do you have hope that this will be passed? I mean, how much support do you have?
We're excited about it. We've got a primary sponsor in the Senate, Senator Hugh Farley. He's been there with the most seniority in the New York State Senate. He's a very effective legislator. And just this past weekend, we've got a Democrat who signed up on the bill. That's very significant because I'm outnumbered 4-1 in the New York State Assembly. We don't have the majority there. But this crosses demographic lines. This affects all of our constituents, and it may affect more of them as it's escalating.
James,
we think we have a good chance.
He's trying to get a law passed where.
Thanks for the opportunity to be with you.
Hey, thanks for being with us this morning.
I appreciate that.
All right.
Yeah, he's trying to get a law passed where if you're videotaping it, also it's guilt by association.
Right, you can't just be
you can't just be standing there videotaping it, which is a tough one.
That's a very tough one.
So they're going for harsh penalties for the knockout game.
I know. What was it? Massachusetts was the town of Massachusetts was the first one to enact one of those Good Samaritan laws. If you videotape somebody as a victim of a crime, I don't know, some fucking fat guy was being mugged, and there were people just fucking laughing and videotaping it, and then they wound up going to jail.
But
why?
You can't legislate that.
Because you can't, if you're videotaping somebody.
But you can't help them.
It's like a Good Samaritan law. You're supposed to help them instead.
Yeah, but it depends how dangerous the situation is.
I think if you're just on the side videotaping and documenting, it's one thing, but they were like fucking like laughing at him and shit. And,
all right, so don't laugh when you make your videos.
Yeah.
You can't legislate that. That's our citizens. That's who our citizens are. You can't.
But why does it seem to be happening more? Are cops figuring out what to do about it?
Why is the knockout game happening more? The stupid fucking Because you guys are doing stories on it.
Yeah, you gave it a cute name.
Yeah, a cute name.
Why is it happening more? I was going to discuss this today. I was down in Philly. Wherever you go, there's stories on this. We're talking about it. We're guilty.
Well, yeah.
If everyone would just ignore, that it's happening.
They love shit like this, though. They love
It's perfect
this.
for them, but don't say, why is this happening more? We all know why.
Yeah, yeah.
You're promoting the hell out of it by doing the stories on it. God, why won't they ever acknowledge that in some weird way?
They won't.
They're absolutely part of the problem.
They see it as they're just reporting the news,
Yeah, it's such
and meanwhile,
bullshit.
the way they report it,
They have such an
does.
influence on, future kids decide to do the knockout game.
yeah, yeah,
And like I said, because we're discussing it, certainly.
yeah.
I just like calling those idiots out for not acknowledging that is part of it.
When you call it the knockout game, it sounds like something as a kid you would like to try.
It's like, hey,
You got a
let
great-
me try that.
It has a nice name now.
Yeah.
It's got a cool graphic. And then they show the best ones so far.
Yeah, maybe if I
That
put a
fucking
video,
juices up some people to go do it.
maybe I'll get my
Right.
video on the news.
Right.
Or even like, you mean I could just go up from behind and knock someone out and then just run away and that's it? That's hilarious.
We used to just ring the doorbells and run away.
That was pretty
We would
risky,
ring
though.
and run.
Ringsy Runsy, it was called.
No, it was called ring and run. Ringsy runsy.
Yeah.
Ringsy runs it.
Oh, that's good.
Why is it happening more? They know. How do they sleep at night? They know. They know.
Of course they do.
Because they publicize it.
Which Seinfeld reference did I
What?
miss? Which one did I miss?
Everyone's a bunch of rats.
Which one did I miss?
A bunch of rats.
Which one? I don't even know.
It was the final episode where they they go to jail for videotaping the fat guy getting
Oh,
the entire thing.
Oh, you
Jesus
dick.
Christ.
That was a good one.
That was smooth, dude. That one was...
The listeners always rat me out.
Wow. Fuck me. That's a good one.
Shit.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see a lot of Seinfeld episodes, but I saw that one.
I think everyone saw the final one, yeah.
With Panette, right?
John Panette?
Yep.
I
John
never saw
Panette.
it.
You never saw the final episode of Seinfeld?
I might have seen one or two full episodes of Seinfeld my whole life.
Jack and Charles, the lawyer. That's when they brought everybody back to recreate their little catchphrases and whatnot.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, yeah. As character witnesses in the case, they brought everybody back to kind of bash the four of them as the horrible people that they are. Yeah.
Very good. Wow.
Good one, Ant.
That was a solid one.
Damn.
I guess Family Guy killed Brian the dog last night, huh?
Oh, yeah?
So how are they going to spin that, and how does he come back next week as Brian the dog? I hate when they do this shit.
That reminds me of the time.
Yeah. One time.
That's like the time. All right.
Remember Brian? They just go back to...
What's the story about that?
Yeah, what is the story?
They're looking for a little promotion.
I would think E-Rock would know about this.
They want morning DJs to talk about it today.
This is in his wheelhouse.
I didn't see it.
No?
No,
You too caught up in the Doctor Who thing?
that I was.
And
What's the Doctor Who
there was
thing?
so much of it.
Do you like
There
Doctor
was
Who?
so much Doctor Who.
Doctor Who stinks.
Terrible.
Doctor Who fucking stinks.
Never watched it, so don't judge it.
I've seen moments of it.
Shit. Told you, motherfucker.
He's not wrong. I mean, but I've seen moments of it, and it was fucking awful. It was shot in somebody's fucking living room.
Yes.
Terrible quality.
Terrible.
It's not.
It's awful.
Guy with the fucking afro.
What year did Doctor Who
Yeah, which
start?
Doctor Who
How do you
fucking
like
are you
Doctor
watching?
That
Who?
was in the 70s.
yeah, there's many different...
Yeah, incarnations.
Iterations.
Or iterations. That too.
Okay, so you like is there a new one now?
There'll be a new one on Christmas.
Oh, yeah?
They just had the 50th
Right.
anniversary on Saturday.
50 years? That's shit. How did that nonsense get 50 years?
Oh, right?
Doctor Who.
It's a worldwide phenomenon.
Oh, it's so Euro trash
Yeah.
shit.
Doctor Who's a fruit.
It doesn't. Who is that? Ian McKellen? No.
No.
No, that's the other guy that was in Alien.
Yes.
Wow. He's
And
old.
I think King Ralph.
He was in King Ralph.
I think so.
He's in a lot of things. The guy that the fucking alien bursts out of him in the first Alien.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
Why was it Day of the Doctor over the weekend?
Ew.
That was the title of the movie for the 50th anniversary.
Day of the Doctor.
Wow, I never saw one
It's
episode
so
of that.
British.
It's terrible.
It's not.
Is there
Yeah.
anybody from the original cast in it?
No. Most of them are dead.
Oh, that's a conspiracy. 50 years ago, most of them dead. They can't talk now.
What does Doctor Who do? What is he? What kind of doctor is he? Oncology? What is he?
He travels through space and time.
Oh,
Ew.
ew! Jimmy just goes ew.
Why would he do that?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Stay in
what's
one
he
place.
doing?
Open a practice.
Sounds
Dr.
exhausting.
Shitface.
Really? Is Obamacare going to affect his
Yeah,
his
is
gig?
Doctor Who accepting Obamacare? If you like Doctor Who, you can keep Doctor Who. Oh, okay. Doctor Who.
So they killed off Brian, and no one knows really why. They're just like, okay, whatever.
Floundering ratings.
It's unclear just why McFarlane and the Family Guy producers opted to kill off the character. It was a time machine episode.
Oh,
But
yeah?
the time machine wasn't working, but I'm sure they'll spin it somehow.
Oh, they'll get like the dog from the past and bring him back or something. Oh, I'm sure. I can't turn off Family Guy quick enough. The only show I turn off quicker is Big Bang Theory.
Oh,
It
God,
comes on.
yeah.
But the Family Guy, it's just like, it seems to click.
I used to love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to love Family Guy.
Yeah, I used to like it too. Yeah, but oof. Oh. That's like that time we went to you sure did. It's just annoying now.
And it's the same thing over and over and over.
Good morning to you both. A 12-year-old boy, a grandmother, a 24-year-old Jewish man, just a few of the victims
into a
recently
bar.
punched in the face for no apparent reason. But are these violent
By who?
stunts isolated
Yeah.
or part of a larger phenomenon known as the so-called knockout?
By who?
So-called.
By who?
Phenomenon because you guys are pushing it forward.
New York City police
Killing their
arrested this
trend.
28-year-old man Friday and charged him with assault after he randomly punched a 24-year-old Jewish man, according to authorities. An NYPD spokesperson says its Hate Crimes Task Force is investigating that case and looking into recent similar attacks against Jews in Brooklyn,
who?
New York.
By
New
who?
York City Police Commissioner Ray Kelly stopped short of saying they're part of the knockout game.
When you highlight an incident or a type of criminal activity, some people will simply try to copy it.
Yeah.
It's
Thank
a
you.
phenomena that we've seen before.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Is that a game?
What the?
And the media is showing people on their
Wait, that
video
was like
phones.
real people? That wasn't like CGI or something?
No.
Yes, it's
The people
CGI.
we showed video to could hardly
Yes,
believe that
yes.
this
a
is
colored guy
happening.
in some.
These videos captured by surveillance cameras could just be random attacks, or they could be what is considered the knockout game, or the one-hitter quitter, where youths randomly punch strangers with the goal of knocking them unconscious
Guys,
with a
28
single
years
blow.
old who got arrested.
It's not a game
Blacks
because, I
punch
mean, the
whites.
person probably
That's what
was
happens.
really injured.
The idea that you can just attack someone for no reason on the streets of New York City is something that's outrageous.
One of the latest victims, a 78-year-old grandmother. Her daughter says she was walking home earlier this month when a young man ran up and punched her.
She's terrified. She now will not leave the front of her building.
The violent stunts have been reported in at least 6 states and Washington, D.C. At least 4 victims have died, including this Vietnamese man in St. Louis and a homeless man in Hoboken, New Jersey.
They're doing this to get a thrill, to prove their manhood or womanhood, part of peer pressure, and certainly they are followers and not leaders.
And it's difficult for police to know exactly how widespread these cases are, because up until now they'd all fall under assault. Some police departments I spoke with are reluctant to tie any of these recent random assault cases to the knockout game. After all, random attacks on strangers is nothing new, and it's unclear whether they're tied to the knockout game unless a suspect confesses to it. But, you know, one thing is clear here, that these suspects in these cases face very severe consequences. In fact, in the case with the St. Louis man who was killed, as was mentioned in my piece, the suspect in that case was sentenced to life in prison. So these kids need to know that this is anything but a game.
The guy was 28 who was arrested in New York.
Let's talk more about this. Let's bring in
28.
He's
former
not
New
a
York City
kid.
detective Harry Huck.
But they have
here
to say
help us out.
teen
Help
or
us understand
youth
this.
or-
So what's your take on this? Is this a growing trend?
It's
Is
a-
this an
it's a hate
urban myth, or
crime.
maybe better stated as growing trend or a group of isolated incidents?
Well, because we all know about what's going on, I mean, the whole country knows about the knockout game pretty much, all right? So this is definitely a trend. This is no urban myths. Urban myths really don't exist. These attacks exist in everyone's minds, especially those of the victims.
Is there a concern that by us focusing on it, it's going to give it more life and more legs? I mean, I think the goal is from law enforcement to the public to just shut this kind of thing down immediately.
Well, no, I mean, I think that we have to let the public know what's going on to protect themselves. I mean, that's our job. That's what the police
But they're not being honest. So how can the public protect themselves when you're leaving out a huge part of the story?
Right? It's our job to make sure that people are aware of what's going on out there in the street and how to protect themselves.
Now, I get why why the cops don't want to attach it to this title, because they don't want to glorify the activity. Right. What you're talking about with PC is an important point to make. What are we not hearing here that the police need to focus on in stopping these incidents?
Well, I'll tell you, stopping the incidents are going to be very hard to do. There's no way we can find out an incident's going to occur tomorrow or the day after, because these are random attacks
like protecting yourself
on the street with groups of black youths.
Thank you.
Now, I'm asking people, who I run into every day, what are you doing to protect yourself on the street? And basically saying that if they see a group of black youths, they cross the street.
See now, okay.
Here you go.
So that's going to be a problem right there.
Why?
That's going to be a problem because, nieces and nephews and kids and black kids around that don't need to be made to feel that they're a threat simply because they're hanging out with their friends. And so there's a concern. You can see how that concern is going to grow.
See this fucking fat
not every black kid is doing this.
Of course.
All right? It's very few. All right, but if you're the victim, all right, if you're a potential victim and you're afraid walking down the street and you see a group of black youths,
say it, yes.
All right, everybody I am talking to says they are crossing the street.
Yes.
They are getting away from them. All right, and that's what's happening. That is a fear that's been created, and it's something to concern. Yeah, because the good black kids are going to say, why are you crossing the street when I come walking?
The vast majority of kids aren't doing this.
Why do you have to take
that?
Listen to this.
She's another thing that's going to be.
That is happening also.
This guy will never be on CNN again, by the way.
It's not new. Okay, there was an incident that happened like this in New York City where they actually targeted a kid who was mentally challenged. And he was just standing there, and this guy stood up, and he was this renowned prowess for fighting. And he knocked the kid out with one punch. And the videotape hit. But here's what happened. It sparked such outrage, which goes to Harry's point about notifying the public, that they found the guy.
He changed the race thing real quick.
And he wound up being arrested. And
is that what's different here, is that they continue to happen, and the people who are behind it aren't getting caught? I mean, there are definitely some folks
black kids doing it, and the fucking fat one objects to them saying that.
Where is the threshold? What do police need to do to kind of stem this tide?
Well, hopefully that this trend will just wear out like everything else does, and that they'll just stop
help himself with what's going on.
A bunch of black kids out there on the street, what's going on the street.
You rarely get a real moment like this. This guy will never be on CNN.
He's great. That are together with them, and they've got to be charged.
He made a lot of people uncomfortable with that.
He made the fat one uncomfortable. It's like, why do you have to take that angle? This is who's committing the crime. Stop saying there's good kids too. We know that.
If nothing was happening and he got on and said, well, when you see a group of young black people, steer clear, then she could come out and say, hey, what are you talking about? There's no reason to do that. But when you're coming out and saying that this whole thing, you're doing a story on it, for the love of God. You're doing a story on it because it's happened enough times. And it's always a group of young black men doing it, and women, and girls.
I don't want people to walk around suddenly in fear. We have to be aware of ourselves. We also don't want to start looking askance at every group of kids
that walk by. That's true, especially when the guy who just got hit for the religious, attacking the religious guy, the Jewish guy. He's not a black guy.
No.
So, it's going to spread in terms of which kids do it, because nobody's immune to stupid. I think that you don't want to be nervous.
Wow.
You also
This
want
is the press.
The
groveling fear of being honest.
What you will anticipate is that as it's forming and happening, everybody's got one of these now, right?
Listen to the way they talk around
video of what they're doing, you take video. If you're at a safe distance and you see it, videotape it. You don't want to get involved.
You can't even tell the truth. You want people out there to take video?
People will stop it.
This is creating terror, on the streets. People are, as soon as they see black youths, and like I said, everybody who I've been talking to, this guy, you can understand why they think that way.
No, you also can understand why it concerns me, Harry, right?
No, it concerns me also. It really does. It concerns me also because you'll never you're pointing the finger at some kids who would never even think about doing something like this. But you, as a person walking down the street, you're saying, "I don't want to be the next guy to get clocked in the face."
Why should I?
You got people who are dead. You got people who are seriously injured.
And let me just quickly
fucking
jump in here.
fat
First of all,
asshole.
this isn't like an organized crime. I mean, any kid can jump in and do this, right? So there's, I don't think there's any bounds as far as that goes. I mean, but also we've talked about how these random attacks on strangers, that's been happening
trying
for
to move
years.
away.
Is it trying. That now it has a label?
But the detective keeps bringing it right back.
You know, the blacks. The internet makes these things more interesting because they can communicate these things. That's why another component of it is getting ISPs and having them to take these videos down right away, source the videos right away. That part is not being done yet.
Anyone
the police
can
are just
do
starting
it.
to do that, and it'll help.
Wow,
it'll help. Harry, thank you very
cowards.
much. Appreciate the perspective.
And now the fat
there's
one
no
will
question.
talk again.
Lots of concerns on this. You don't have to be black to be worried about the perception of blacks, but we have to do everything we can to stop it. Coming up on New Day. Wait until you hear about this.
The people are being killed. People are being killed by being punched in the face. And all the CNN anchors can worry about is that somebody may misinterpret them telling the truth as being racist. That is the country we live in.
And if you're walking down the street and you see a group of young black men, a group walking down the street towards you, would you want to take that chance? And what's the upside to not crossing the street? What's the upside there? That this other woman here wants you to not cross the street, apparently. She doesn't want you because they might be good, and they probably would be completely harmless, good kids, no problem. But what's the upside?
You see, what she was saying, and this is what's so wrong with it, saying like, well, that's what concerns me. No, what's concerning should be the fact that people are being killed with knuckles in their face, you big, fat, fucking devil's advocate dummy. Not the fact that you might appear impolite by saying something that's truthful. How about this? What's sickening is the fact that these guys are doing this, and they're causing completely innocent people to be looked at.
Yes.
But why does that concern you?
Yeah.
She's almost putting the onus on the people making the decision to cross the street instead of the onus on the animals that are committing the crimes.
The victims and the potential victims are the problem here.
Holy shit.
But the detective didn't back down.
No.
God, I love
he
him.
was great.
I feel bad for him because those type of guys don't work on news shows.
Oh, he'll be on Fox.
They'll move him over to Fox?
They'll fucking roll out the red carpet over on Fox for him.
Amazing.
That's amazing. It really is.
And he has way more knowledge than that fat fucking lady does.
Yep.
As far as what's going on the streets.
That was fun to watch.
If we want to know about buffets, then we'll talk to her. If we want to know what's going on the streets of New York City, we'll talk to the detective.
Yeah. Wow. That was watching them scurry.
That was a good find.
They get all fucking like, oh! They were petrified.
Mm-hmm.
That was embarrassing to watch.
Yeah.
The lack of honesty in them, just the lack of honest, simple, like, hey, this is what's happening. You can say it respectfully. You don't have to be a racist about it, but the reality is that's what's happening. They keep saying hate crime, and mentioning the victim. They're not mentioning the perpetrators.
No.
Until the detective does. CNN themselves didn't say anything about the perpetrators.
No. They will not mention it.
They are...
the phoniness.
I literally feel like I'm in a movie.
Yeah.
I feel like we're in a movie and this is not real.
Of course it's real, yeah.
But doesn't it feel like
Well, you are in Fantasyland.
They couldn't be this fake. They couldn't be this fake. Like, it's almost like I can't comprehend why people would be so dishonest.
Yeah.
Wow.
The lady telling people not to walk across the street. If it was her, she would.
Of course she would.
We all would. We all profile.
Yes.
Every single person. Doesn't matter what fucking color you are, you profile. Period.
It's part of a survival instinct.
It's part of being a human being.
Yeah. You assess a situation around you, your surroundings, and you act accordingly to the best of your ability to preserve yourself. That's what that is. And to go against that, those hunches, those feelings and stuff, isn't a good thing. Especially for what? To be politically correct? No. There's too many people I've heard on interviews and crime documentaries, and when you talk to them and they say, I should have trusted that voice in my head told me I shouldn't have done this, or I should have done that, or, I've had a feeling and I ignored it.
That fat bitch, right?
Yeah.
Let's say they were giving out free sherbet at the free sherbet store.
Oh, yeah.
And you saw that she was marching toward the free sherbet store. Wouldn't you be running a little faster and get in front of her? That's called profiling.
Odds are it's not going to be there when.
How do these marching bands do this shit? How the fuck they do this?
Oh, they make the little shapes.
This band lit a huge cannon.
That's nothing compared to what they do in Korea, because I guess North Korea.
They really know how to do that shit.
Oh my god,
100,000 of them will do it. There's 100,000 in the
It's
stadium.
amazing. I don't know how they do that shit.
Yeah, it's like each person is a pixel, and they just keep changing. It
just gotta know what to
looks
do.
like a fucking television on this field.
All timed out.
Cool, amazing.
Pretty amazing. Do you want commentary on when crimes are covered by the media?
Huh?
Steve the therapist.
What?
Fucking attention-seeking idiot. Hey, Steve, what's up, buddy?
Yes.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Hello.
Good, Steve.
Speaking to Anthony's point, there's a book called The Gift of Fear by Gavin
Yes,
Becker.
I've read it. It's excellent.
Have you really read that one?
I gave it to somebody that, we know. I gave that.
And it speaks exactly to the point that you have natural instincts that know when bad things are going to happen before the brain recognizes it.
Yes.
The book also, the author Gavin also goes to speak to the fact, way before Sandy Hook, that we are building the next monster by the way the media, exploits what they do.
Yeah, we've talked about that in the past too. Yeah, where the media pumps up these fucking lone gunman psychos and gives them a platform and fame, even after they're dead. The next person who sees this and says, hey, this is great. I could finally be a somebody.
I have no doubt that us talking about, because we do have to add ourselves to this one, and CNN talking about the knockout game, we just turned on a few people to the knockout game, and they were going to try it.
Well, you know what it is?
Period.
I disagree, and I'll tell you why. There's a difference between...
You disagree with that? Why?
Well,
There's a difference between sensationalizing it and reporting it. You guys do a pretty good job of not sensationalizing it.
So if you
do nothing
sensationalize,
sensational.
yeah, but even us talking about it, isn't that kind of sensationalizing it in some?
I think we talk about it in a way that's not the way they
in
want to be
some
spoken
loner's
about.
mind.
Like, we don't make the loners look like heroes. We call them little groveling pieces of shit.
That's true.
We don't give them what they want, which is hero status. We call them animals.
Yeah.
They should be shot. There's a difference between, I think, bashing them and talking about them harshly and propping them up like they're these weird anti-heroes. which is
Reading
what the
their
press does.
manifesto.
Yeah.
So if you don't hold on, so if you don't sensationalize, then you're not turning kids onto the knockout game. In this case.
Well, I don't think the kids need to turn on O&A to learn about the knockout game. You know what I'm saying? The rest of the media is doing a very good idea of sensationalizing it.
Every news channel has a story on it now. Every fucking channel.
And
they're
here's
wondering
the
why it's ramping up.
Well, because people are...
Hold on a minute, man. Mark Goodman is ready to push the fucking button,
Oh,
man.
nice.
Wow, they bought a lot of time on Fox, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Free listening through December 3rd. Doesn't include the Opie and Anthony show.
By the way, I tried to listen on my fucking...
It doesn't include us.
Why?
I don't know.
Shouldn't we be on the free thing?
It would be nice.
Would be.
Anyway, go ahead, Steve.
Here's a good litmus test for sensationalizing. Look at the way Jimmy talks about a pair of tits versus the way you guys talk about the knockout game.
That's true. Nobody says they like a dick to be hanging under the knockout game.
Yeah, there's not a lot of guys getting in their cars cruising trannies because of the way you guys talk.
And Jimmy loves punching tits.
Who doesn't, right?
So,
all
right.
I'm punching out, guys.
Thanks. Yes. I think he's right. I think this guy's right.
As long as you don't sensationalize it?
Or if you talk about, like...
That's interesting to me.
When you read, like you said, read the manifestos, when they call this, like, James, whatever his name was, the joke, James Hall, the Joker.
Yeah.
We don't do that. We, I think, pretty much call them scumbags and little broken people. And nobody wants that. It's like nobody wants to be made fun of and mocked.
Yeah, that part of the story is really is missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're so right.
Yeah, if you're honest about it and in the reporting, then, I think it does a lot.
Yeah, they give them all cute little names.
Yeah.
Comic book names.
Yeah.
Nice graphics, music.
Uh-huh.
Why did he do it? Like, I don't care. He's a crazy fuck.
Yeah, we all know why he did it.
He's nuts.
He's a damaged human being.
I've gotten into so many arguments over the weekend about the whys. Why do they do it? We need a solution to this. It's like, you know what?
Blacks.
You know what? Well, no, with the knockout game and stuff, people are just trying with the whys and how. Like, if you have a leak in your roof, you don't sit there for days as it's raining wondering how the hole got there, what happened. You fucking fix the thing and then deal with it, and try to prevent it from happening again. But this whole, well, you're not offering up a solution. You're not helping by what you're saying. It's like, I'm just saying, protect yourself. And like that detective said, there's an element of profiling there that has to go on in order to protect yourself from this. There isn't anybody that can give you a protection little seminar for the knockout game, honestly, without bringing up the racial aspect of it. You can't say, well, to protect yourself, look at everybody, because they might punch you in the head. No. You whittle it down to who the group of people were that's been doing it, and you try to, keep your head on a swivel when you see that happening.
And what they do is, this is why I have such a loathing for them, because they'll always throw in, hey, look, this could be anybody. It's like, you don't have to say that. But in a case like Zimmerman, Trayvon Martin, they don't throw in the other, but also black youths are doing it too. Like, it's such a fucking weird... I don't know why they're afraid to tell the truth. What do they think they're doing? It's like, can't you see the difference between being honest about a crime and what America did in the 50s and 60s? Can't you see the difference between just telling the truth and actually being racist?
It's not a blanket excuse either. You can't use America's history as a blanket excuse for the inability to know right from wrong, the penchant for violence. You just can't throw the old, well, this happened, so, that's going to happen. No, I'm not accepting that. Sorry.
That was a great example.
I think we all know that by now.
Yeah.
I'm not accepting it.
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
And by that,
and then he sprinkles in a cute fucking kitten picture.
That's what you got to do.
You're a weirdo.
Keeps them going.
You're really weird on Twitter. Ridiculous, over the top, what some would say hate, and then a cute kitten picture.
And by not accepting it, Anthony means the Emancipation Proclamation.
Right, I won't accept it.
No, it's
so fucking weird though, because people do say hate, and it's a discussion, an honest discussion I have online about race, and of course I'm called a racist for it because I'm just being honest. I'm not preaching hate. I'm not preaching violence against any people. I'm not preaching keeping anyone down. I've said in the past, America is a great place with a lot of opportunity if you apply yourself, educate yourself, find your talents, whatever. There's a great opportunity here. I'm not saying everyone shouldn't be entitled to that opportunity. But when I get honest and talk about things that are really happening in this country, people then turn around and say racist. You're really demeaning the word racist by including me in that. You're taking people that actually did kill other people because of their race, kept them out of jobs, kept them out of schools. Those are racist. Yes, hat purchases. That's a racist. By calling me a racist, you're really softening the word down, don't you think? Jesus. I have an open and honest discussion, and then I post kittens. Adorable kitty pictures.
God, that fat pig was great this morning. She's everything we've said.
Yeah. Oh, well, I thought when you played the music.
She got so annoyed.
I fucking hate her.
Kidding you, Rock. I love you.
She got so annoyed.
Yeah. Just had to do it. She fucking had to do it.
Yeah.
Had to be the whole.
There's a great documentary called Out Fox, where they go into, all these news programs and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And a guy like that will not be back on CNN because he didn't play his part properly.
Nope. He got her mad.
Right.
You know the damage he did by saying that?
He won't be back. They'll find somebody else that's a little, more, quote, honest for their world.
But then to make the detective almost feel defensive,
Of
like
course.
going, well, you can't. And then he's got to go, yeah, well, I'm concerned about it, too. That's irrelevant. We're not talking about that. He's just telling the truth about who's doing it.
Yeah.
And they felt a need. We could not have talked about a better example than that of the subtlety of that.
Right.
Because none of them discussed it. None of them said, don't say that. But how do you, in a court of law, describe the tone? And then we had to go to court, we'd lose.
Right, and then Cuomo backed her up by finding the one time where it wasn't, a black guy.
Oh, yeah.
Did he? We said the Jewish guy was targeted. Did he say that the perpetrator was white? I don't remember.
Yeah, he found one incident where it might not have been a black guy.
Yeah, it wasn't a black guy. So they've been showing that one a lot.
All right.
Yeah, that's, it's the way they operate. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's not a black-white thing, Wes.
Oh, good. Let's see.
Oh, no.
Okay. Sure.
No, not today. It's Monday. Right. Please, no. God, no.
That'll be nice.
Larry in Jersey, what's up?
Yo, yeah, guys. I mean, I know it's black guys doing it right now, but if I'm in the city and I'm with my chick or alone, and it could be any group of guys, white, Chinese, even Hasidic Jews, if it's a group of guys, my fucking radar's up, man. Like, you're just not going to walk past the group of guys.
A group of Hasidic Jews, really?
Really?
Yeah, they might fuck, especially in Brooklyn, bro. You're in their territory.
A group of Asians, maybe with cameras taking pictures of, you got to look at the context of what a group is doing.
Yeah.
If it looks like the Warriors and they're fucking swinging baseball bats and shit like that, I can understand. But if it's a group of black guys, let's say, dressed in like school uniforms, let's say, walking around talking to each other about the day's studies, would you cross the street?
No,
all right. If it's a bunch of white guys and they're brandishing, something that could be perceived as a weapon, talking about someone's ass that they just kicked around a corner, would you cross the street? Yeah. Yes, it's all about the context.
I'm with them with the Hasidic Jews, by the way.
Are they dangerous?
Yeah, they could penny pinch you to death, man.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
They use those yarmulkes like Odd Job used his hat.
Right.
Yes,
Bro,
very dangerous.
Did you ever walk in Brooklyn in their territory? You saw the videos, man. They'll fuck with you. Bro.
Understandable, but when we're talking about this, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You see who's been committing the crimes. No one is saying other groups can't commit the crimes, but as of right now, this is just what's happening.
Yeah.
So instead of feeling so guilty about just saying what it is that's happening, why not just stop looking for what other groups could do? We know that.
Yeah, don't look for a way to exempt people from this, that the people that are doing this.
I think you're just missing my point. My point is that, like you said, Ann, like in context, like if you're walking down the street and you see a bunch of black guys in school gear, from Catholic school,
right.
You're not going to feel as threatened as say a group of white kids that are all fucking dressed kind of ghetto
or
all
adults,
fucked up, eyeing you down.
Just black adults and like coming out of work. I wouldn't feel threatened by a bunch. If I saw 5 black construction workers standing there talking, I would feel zero threat from those guys. Zero.
But that black lady's making people feel guilty because they might be profiling their own heads for their own safety.
Yeah.
Whatever their profiling is based on, by the way.
And now
she's trying to make you feel guilty to have those dirty thoughts in your head.
Exactly.
But in the story,
that is twisted.
They're talking about the story of a young black kids, people, punching people in the face. So if you're addressing that story, and then the detective says it's young black people doing this,
majority,
then
overwhelmingly, it's black guys right now.
Then when he says people are going to avoid groups of black people walking down the street, you can't then call them out on that.
Well, that's where I have a problem. What's the problem?
Because you're black, I see.
So the damaging part, instead of 4 people have been killed by this.
Yeah.
And instead of saying, wow, these guys are such animals doing this and causing this uncomfortability around other black people who are doing nothing.
Yeah.
You blame the people looking out for themselves.
I have never seen a group of people that are so coddled and that people have such just this. You have to make an excuse or some type of cover or change the subject. Like, it's just such a taboo thing to talk about.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's the press.
Yeah.
Let's say thank you, sir. Let's go to Clayton in Ohio there. Clayton.
Morning, fellas. How you doing?
Hey, buddy.
Hello.
Hey, Anthony, I totally agree with your self-preservation thought.
Yeah.
The other thing I was thinking was and I'm not calling anyone any race, animals. What I am saying is, if I'm walking down the street and there's a giant Rottweiler, it could be the nicest dog in the world.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a good chance I'm going to cross the street. Same thing with a pit bull or something that has a history
You're right.
of predictable behavior. Yeah, I'm absolutely going to try to preserve my own health and safety, and I don't think it goes any further than that. You have to look at facts, or you have to look at past performance to indicate future performance.
You can't make people feel guilty because they profile whatsoever.
Yeah,
it is part of human nature. We all know that.
Right. I punch him.
I wonder what Macklemore would say.
Oh, there's Macklemore.
Yo, you can't judge anyone. Yo, the groups of people. He would grovel and not say anything.
Macklemore looks like Spaz.
You know what? I'm trying to figure out who he looked like. Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Okay.
I want to say hi to Trayvon.
Wants to weigh in on the topic. Joe in Nebraska.
Oh.
What do you have to worry about in Nebraska?
Right.
Nebraska?
Oh.
Yeah.
That Omaha's mean place.
What are you getting corn thrown at you or something?
You know what? I'm going to be honest with
Isn't
you.
Nebraska filled with a lot of what?
It's big cities. It's liberal. It's liberalism. It disgusts me, dude.
All right.
Fuckers walk up and they want to knock people out. I don't care if they're black, white, or fucking stick. I will put a fucking bullet between their fucking eyes.
Look at that.
This guy will take a...
God's honest fucking truth. I'll tell you what. Bring it on, motherfuckers. Bring it on.
That's kind of...
I have that bumper sticker. Bring it on, motherfucker. Bring it on.
between the eyes.
There you go.
I don't see much wrong with that.
So what is your point, though?
I'm into a situation by myself or with my old lady. If I fucking see guys,
Romantic.
I don't care, black, white, thick, Asian.
Well, you made that point already. We get it. We get it, Charlie Bronson. We got it. They boy, I tell you, they will rue the day they crossed your path. We got it.
Well, Macklemore's going to be very upset with you,
Victim,
Joe.
motherfucker.
What's that? I didn't hear what you
Fuck
said.
You, victim. That's what you are. You fucking whine and cry.
Well, fuck
try
you.
and fucking play the other end, you dumb motherfucker.
Fuck you two and your phony phone call. Hey, if that guy came to me, you bet I'd shoot him dead. Me and my gal. Don't you mess. Fuck you and your Midwestern speculative nonsense. Oh, get killed in a boating accident. Oh, I forgot there's no water there. Yeah, right between the eyes, bucko. You tangle with me and my gal on the way to the sock hop, and I'll give you the business. Shut up. Talk about what you've done, not what you're going to do in a speculative situation. If I were in space, I'd float. Yeah, wouldn't we all, dickhead?
He hung up.
Of course he did.
Thanks for the phone call, Joe.
Stupid asshole. That's the type of fucking. That's the type of conversation I had when I was 16 and drunk.
Exactly.
Fucking they come for me and my girl.
Here's what I do.
Yeah, just go do it.
Would you?
Shut up.
Let's say hi to Brian in Texas. Brian.
Hi, Brian.
Hey, how's it going, guys? What I want to know is, where are the black leaders that are sitting there saying, hey, you know, we're noticing this going on. Let's take hold of the reins. Let's get it taken
Because
care
they, obviously, you're talking about like an Al Sharpton.
Or Jesse Jackson.
Sharpton did comment on this.
He did?
Yeah.
When?
Over the weekend.
Oh, fuck you. Oh, great.
He had to.
Yeah, he had to at this point.
Wow.
Well, he has to do
That's a
something.
step in the right direction, right?
Yeah.
I'm surprised he would have, spoke about this.
It doesn't mean anything, though. He has to,
It's
so he does.
self-serving. Yeah, he had to.
What did he say?
He said more white people should get punched.
Yeah, he goes, you need to hit harder and uppercut.
Yeah.
I see. Oh, well.
Just don't videotape it, stupid. Yeah. Oh, is that true? Sharpton said only knock out the Greek homos.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
Wasn't he part of the knockout game on Morton Downey Jr. show?
Yeah. Morton Downey.
That fat fuck went down easy.
Oh, he did. Oh, and he looked up. He was mad.
Oh, boy, was he.
He looked silly. Is there any audio from Reverend Al?
I don't have the audio. He said, we would not be silent if it was the other way around. We cannot be silent or in any way reluctant to confront it when it's coming from our own community.
Oh, that's very good.
So why doesn't Al Sharpton tell that fat bitch from CNN that?
Yeah.
He said,
would she accept it if Al Sharpton said it to her?
Maybe.
He said, this kind of insane thuggery, there is nothing cute about that. There is no gameplay about knocking somebody out. And it is not a game. It is an assault, and it is bias, and it is wrong.
Damn.
Wow, Reverend Al.
Reverend Al, nice.
He is outraged.
He's outraged.
Well, he's got to be outraged.
Damn.
It's good for business.
All right. Well, you know what? At least he said something.
Yeah.
And it was in the right direction.
Again, white people won't say it.
No.
White people won't say it.
The absence of them speaking about one of the most important parts of the story, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's so obvious, too, that they're not talking about
And we're not making it up. It gets it's nice to see like something confirmed, even though I guess maybe I don't want to beat the same point. I mean,
yeah.
All right, we're gonna break, and we're gonna talk about Alex Jones next.
Yeah, Alex Jones.
Got a really good clip from Alex Jones.
Oh yeah.
And don't forget about our podcast, doing very, very well. The Mike Tyson episode doing extremely well. We have a new Opie and Anthony podcast that comes out every Wednesday. I don't know what we're doing this week.
Uh-oh.
We still got to figure out this week's podcast, boys.
Today's considered Wednesday. See, that's weird right there.
Yeah, we got to figure one out. Maybe a Thanksgiving. What did we do for Thanksgiving over there?
For Thanksgiving.
Special.
The
Hard Rock special.
The skit.
Is it good for a podcast? It was a good broadcast, definitely.
Could be. It was very funny.
All right, we'll figure it out. We don't have to figure it out live in the air, I guess.
I have a special thing to figure out, though.
What?
Oh, what?
I booked an LA gig for December 12th, the Improv, one night. So if you were in LA and people always complain I'm not in LA, well, Thursday the 12th, I'm doing an 8 o'clock show at the Melrose Improv. And it's going to be fucking good.
Nice.
So we...
The Opie and Anthony Show. Sirius XM. All right, well, that sucked. To hear the Opie and Anthony Show 5 days a week live on satellite radio, online on your phone or tablet, or even on demand, go to SiriusXM.com. Also, interact with the Opie and Anthony Show on Twitter, @Opie Radio, @Anthony Cumia, and @Jim Norton.